Hey Aquarius, it's Jen here from tarotspirit.net, here doing your October 2016 tarot reading. I just hit my computer, so I started over. I messed up the video. All right, so let's just hop into it. At the bottom of the deck, we have the Four of Cups. So some of you may be feeling a little, this card can be depression, but it can also just be I don't know why this keeps coming up. It's so weird. But sort of like you've lost your mojo. You're just not feeling super excited about really anything. And it's not that you're completely depressed and can't get out of bed or anything like that, like you're crying all the time, but you're just in a funk for some reason. And you just sort of lost you've lost your spark a little bit. So maybe some of you are coming into October just being a little bit down, a little bit not being able to really appreciate all the good things you do have in life, and just sort of maybe in a little bit of a bad habit of focusing on the negative and not the positive. But I believe you are on the brink of pulling yourself out of that. It's like you're ready to take some action, make some changes, start manifesting some of the things you do want in your life. And so instead of focusing on maybe what you don't have, instead of focusing on what you don't have in a, oh, I don't have that, sucks. It's like, I don't have that. What am I going to do to get that and make that happen? How am I going to manifest these things I desire in my life? So it's a shift in perspective that you're going to have, because you don't want to be sad bastard. I don't know why Austin Powers keeps coming up, like losing your mojo and sad bastard. I don't know if it's fat. Oh, he was fat bastard. Whatever. I'm sorry. These are the weirdest videos I've ever put out. I'm punchy. It's only 10 o'clock in the morning. I'm trying to get these out and they're just coming out weird. But anyway. Oh, and the tower was here. So some of you, I don't usually look at that, but I happen to notice the tower. Maybe you had a tower situation in the past, like this summer, and it's like you're still trying to get out of that funk, which is understanding, but you're ready now. You're ready to move on. You're ready to move forward. And I just realized you had the two world cards here. So lots of culmination this month. Something, I mean, in the work category and in the home category. Wow. You have some amazing cards. So if you have been feeling sad or had some hard times, things are changing. Things are coming full circle. Things are going to begin anew. So at work, you may find a new job and be wrapping up your old job and able to start off on something new, a new career, a new job, could be a promotion. But things have gone as far as they can go. Maybe you graduated from school, you did some training, and you're ready to move forward with this new knowledge, in this new position, in a new way. So lots of new jobs for some of you guys. Be careful of not hanging on to a job because you feel like you have to. You feel like, well, I need the benefits, and benefits in another job won't be as good, or I can't take a little bit of a pay cut because I'm used to having that much money. And just make sure you be open to the possibility of taking a little bit of a pay cut if the opportunity is more in line with what's going to make you, with what interests you or is your strengths or something you're interested in. I had to take a pay cut when I moved, and it was just like, well, it was just sort of like, it was just the way it is. And sometimes you may have to make a little bit of sacrifice in the short term, but in the long term, over the span of your life, in the grand scheme of things, I mean, this is a very big picture card. It will be worth it in the long run. Kind of the sky's the limit. Dream big, go big. Big career changes for some of you. Um, but only if you are careful not to hold on too tight. You have to be willing to take a little bit of a risk here in the short term for long-term gain. In the home, you also have the world. I think some of you may be moving. That may be something too. It's like, oh God, if I went after that career, that job, we'd have to move. And that seems, and I just did talk about moving, didn't I? So I think for some of you are going to be moving. And it could be if you have kids, you don't want to take kids out of the classroom, but out of their school. But I remember I went to a psychic. Here we go with these really random readings and my babbling. Oh, I got nailed so hard. I told stories about myself. I think it was in a cancer video back in earlier this year. And oh my God, I got so many bad comments about no one cares about you. No one wants to hear your stories. Like, it was bad. So go ahead, leave the comments. It's cool. I went to they had this psychic fair where I used to live before I moved back home. And I was trying to sell my house, get a new job, and my son's daycare was closing, and he had to switch daycares, a daycare he had been at his whole 3 years at that. He was 3 or 4, maybe he was 4. And so she used it was a psychic. She used a dowsing rod, and I asked, when will I sell my house? When will I get a job? And then Jacob was wondering if he would like his new school. He was with me. And she was incredibly accurate. I don't need to go into all of that. But she said to Jacob, not only are you going to like your new school, you're going to like it better than your old one, even if that seems impossible in the moment. So change isn't bad. Change isn't always bad. It could be even better. So just keep that in mind if you have an opportunity that would involve moving. It can bring a lot of stress and worry, but change doesn't equal bad. Things could even be better. But you never know until you actually, it's kind of like relationships. You don't know if a relationship's going to work out unless you are in the relationship. There's no, even tarot cards aren't going to tell you. There's no real magic way of knowing how things will work out without just living through the experience itself. You have the 7 of Swords here. Some of you, this could be a divorce situation. You just realize you have to get out of a negative situation because people around you are just not behaving in such a way that you feel good about it. In this deck, I never read this card like this in any way. It could be writer's block, if any of you are writers out there. But for those of you who aren't writers, if you're working on something in the outside of work, you may be stuck. You may be feeling stuck. Sometimes what I like to do is when I was in school, I would have to write a paper or something. I know I'm talking about myself again. And I just couldn't, for whatever reason, I just couldn't craft it right. I just couldn't get the thoughts organized to get it down on paper in a good way. It just wasn't coming. I would go for a walk and I'd put my headphones in, listen to a podcast, listen to music. And wouldn't it, I get a flash of insight when I wasn't even really, something would just pop into my head. And then when I got back from my walk, it would just pour out of me and it would all make sense and it would be good. So sometimes you need to walk away from a situation and get some distance in order to be able to come back and see it with fresh eyes. So in the home, if things get heated, go take a walk. don't, but pushing someone when they're sort of in this state is usually not helpful. I brought this up again, there's that meme going around where it's like, never in the history of calming down has anyone ever calmed down by being told to calm down. And my son and I joke about this because, he'll be upset about something. He's 10, and I'll be like, calm down. And we'll start laughing because, yeah, when he's getting upset about something, I just want to be like, calm down, like, chill out. But that's not helpful. But it's now a joke, so it does tend to break the mood, and we can sort of giggle, and it helps him break out of that negativity he's in. And just I was at a store with him a few weeks ago, and I wasn't doing anything, but he could tell I was annoyed at it was just like one thing after another, and I just wanted to return something and get out of the store, and I didn't want to spend 20 minutes in there. So he could tell I was getting annoyed, and he all of a sudden he goes, "Mom, have a Snickers." And it was so funny, and I laughed, and it totally broke the tension. But be careful not to push yourself or others when you've sort of hit a block and you're having trouble processing. Go for a walk, get out, set it down, come back to it with fresh eyes, and you may have a much different experience. Now, love and relationships category. This is where it's at. So for some of you, so the Four of Wands is about, right here you have the High Priest, 10 of Cups, Four of Wands. Some of you are getting married. Bam, that's all there is. Some of you are having kids. This is going to be milestones. Starting to date someone, calling them your boyfriend or girlfriend, moving in together, getting married, having a baby, having an anniversary, getting divorced, even though these are really positive cards. Divorce can be positive. Your kids moving out, any sort of those milestones in life are going on. But for most of you, things are going to be very harmonious in your relationships. Again, a lot of you, some of you that maybe never wanted to get married may find yourself getting married. And I think it'll be surprising for some of you that like maybe you never really thought you wanted kids or to get married. And you're going to find yourself meeting someone and being like, I want to get married and have kids with this person. And it may totally surprise you. But for the majority of you guys, you're going to be feeling good. Even if you're single, you're going to be feeling stable and solid and secure in where you are, wherever you are. You're going to be seeing the benefit of where you are for what it is, and be good with it. For some of you, you may be doing something that involves contract, buying a house together, getting married, getting divorced, something where you're signing some sort of official papers. But what is your happy family? For some of you, you may realize your happy family isn't getting married and having kids, and that's perfectly valid happily ever after dream for you. So what is your happily ever after? I always like to have people think about that when that card comes up, because it's going to be different for everyone. It doesn't have to be what society tells you it is. It doesn't even have to be but what you thought it was, because you may think, oh, I have to have kids and get married because that's what your brothers did and your parents sort of expect, whether not that they're pressuring you, but just because that's sort of what people do. And maybe that's not your thing, and that's okay. Maybe you want to travel the world. Maybe you want to sell your house and homeschool your kid and take off. It's kind of like whatever you want to do. So love's definitely in the air. We have the Cupid card. We send great waves of love into your heart and mind, awakening your love for life itself. Your clear decision to accept and enjoy romance has triggered this reawakening. Allow yourself to spontaneously celebrate love in all its glorious aspects. Yeah, you guys have a really beautiful, beautiful reading. You will not be feeling like this um, for long with cards like this. So thanks so much for stopping by and watching your reading, and I'll see you at the next video. Take care.